Well, I'm here just to tell you about the big momentum and disruption that we are going through. And I'm just here also to tell you of what is going to happen, what are the different possibilities that are ahead of us, and of course, what are the main opportunities. So let's have a look to the global picture now.
Energy markets are changing globally. As a massive migration to renewable energy gains momentum, many people are taking advantage of the change and embracing prosumer technologies. Meanwhile, with 24/7 availability becoming ever more critical, some businesses are exploring microgrids as a way to ensure reliable supply. Throughout the energy system, it's a whole new game, with huge potential on both sides of the meter. For energy consumers, communities, and companies, it's an opportunity to achieve better efficiency, reliability, sustainability, and resiliency. For electric distribution utilities, it means more complicated network management and challenges to existing models and processes. But these electricity companies can turn disruption into opportunity. In the future, they may even become facilitators and orchestrators of the new energy system. On both sides of the meter, going digital today is the key to success. EcoStruxure Grid unites both sides of the equation. It lets distribution utilities boost efficiency while engaging and managing the demand side. EcoStruxure Grid helps utilities leverage flexibility and resiliency and unlocks new approaches for commercial, industrial, and corporate electricity consumers, like microgrids and energy as a service. With its digital architectures and services, EcoStruxure Grid bridges the gap between the supply and demand sides, providing a system-wide perspective. And because reliability of electricity supply and data integrity are key, it helps protect against cyber attacks by mitigating cyber risk, allowing sustained operational confidence. With EcoStruxure Grid, distribution utilities and energy prosumers can lead the way and take control of the new world of energy.
Well, so all is said, I would say, during this first video. But let's say that if we look at this landscape that is in front of us, we have three ingredients that are going to change the complete equation. The first ingredient is the fact that we are going to be more and more electrical. Everything is going electric, vehicle electric, heating electric, everything is moving electrical in the field of the global energy equation. We are looking at 57% of growth in 2050. These are, of course, our level of expectation or our estimation of the level of growth regarding the energy, electricity. And this is going to enable everybody to be that is today in the electrical value chain to be a major actor of this transformation. So the first ingredient is more electric. The second ingredient is the fact that it's decentralized, it's renewable. It means that the whole good old top-down architecture of the network is not anymore I would say up-to-dated. It's completely going to be decentralized, and this activity is going to bring now a lot of investment in the field of the new kind of power generation that is going to be, most of it, renewable. So second point, decentralized and renewable. The third ingredient is the fact that a new kind of actor in that market is going to rise. The rise of the prosumer. Prosumer means producer and consumer. Those prosumers are going to be the major actor of the new architecture of this grid. Again, the fact of a nuclear plant going to the consumer through transmission, distribution, low voltage, high voltage, medium voltage, it's not anymore the long trend. It's more producing close to the usage and producing with many DER, which is distributed energy resources. Well, what are then the three key levers and drivers of those prosumers? The first point is, of course, access to energy. They want this energy to be affordable. The second is energy reliability. It means that the main driver for those people is going to be energy available. The third point is the energy mix, which is more and more renewable on that kind of energy. So this is going to create the main lever and the main action, the main asset for those new players is going to be the microgrid. And the microgrid is going to solve, as a technical problem, the requirement of those new actors. But, because there is a but, of course, the consequences is going to be that those prosumers are going to be the main actor, but also the main source of complexity at the level of the grid, because many things are going to happen from the supply side of the network, but also on the demand side of the network. So when we look at it, it's if you look at the meter, electrical meter, on both sides of the meter, complexity is going to be much more complex and much more harder to manage. So, well, is it a good news or not? Yeah, I mean, the complexity is going to be large, but I would say on each side, we are going to have enormous opportunities. Enormous opportunities from the utility to better balance the grid, to make it more reliable and more capable to absorb those disruptions due to the renewable energy. On the demand side, of course, there is also a lot of opportunities because those players, those actors in the past were just receiving energy. Tomorrow they are going to receive, but also to produce and probably inject energy and sell energy in the network. So for both sides, complexity created, yes, but opportunities are going to rise also. So how can we solve this equation? Because this equation and complexity is going to be at a level that is going, let's say, over the human capability. It's a real-time management. It's a way to manage very complex and very difficult situations like when we have a storm. And the only way that we foresee today to manage this complexity, again, on both sides of the meter, from the supply and from the demand, it's about digital. Those technologies are today available. This is a reality, and I'm going to demonstrate by this presentation that this reality can be implemented to both sides, again, of the meter. Okay, let's talk about the supply side. What do we have and what do we need to do on the supply side? The first stage at the supply side is, of course, to equip the network by digital devices. If you want to move to software, you need to go for IoT, which is to transform, analogic into digital. So you need to equip, and we need to equip this network with what we call the smart grid, but what is in fact is about smart devices that are capable to give information, receive information, act, of course, in a very cyber security way. I will talk to that point a bit later on. The second topic is, well, a lot of renewable. It means a lot of injection of energy inside the whole grid. And this is what we call the DER integration. It's, of course, about microgrid. It's about managing the balance of the grid. This is a second big problem and opportunity that utilities are going to have in that field. The third point, because it's very important for utilities to keep the contact with their customer. 80% of the profitability of a retailer, or an energy retailer, is coming from the fact that he's connected a customer. The flow of electrons, which is the retail price of energy, is very cheap. Even sometimes it's value zero, sometimes it's value negative. I mean, sometimes when you are overproducing, they ask you to shade your generation. So the main profitability of those retailers, of those kind of people on the supply side, is about connecting connecting their customer. And here we have also solution to give access and to engage better the customer and to solve issues and complexity that those customers, from a commercial, again, point of view, not from an hardware point of view, are going to face. Again, we have, for this part of the equation, which is the supply side, a lot of opportunities. Everything being connected again and again, cybersecurity is going to be a key point and a key success factor of this transformation. So if I go in one of the examples that has been presented already this morning, it's Meralco. Meralco is a big utility in Philippines, and it's 6.5 million customers. Again, 6.5 million customers means that this database is extremely important for them from a retail point of view. And it's also very, very important for them from the complexity that this connection in terms of hardware, in terms of flow of electrons is representing. I was with them yesterday, and frankly, this country, Philippines, you maybe know, is exposed to a lot of typhoon, 20, 25 average, unfortunately, per year. Those weather issues are creating a lot of disruption in addition of the renewable energy. And this is for them mandatory to have this software and real-time management of their grid in order to manage, again, the complexity and to avoid off time to their customer. This is number one, again, example and opportunities that we can see for one side of the equation, which is the supply side. On the other side, we have the demand side. And on the demand side, well, very easy. Those guys, what do they want? They want to be, well, they are decentralized. They want to activate a microgrid. Three kinds of microgrid we have identified for the moment. The first one is tied to the grid. It means it's connected permanently to the grid, and it's pumping or injecting energy to the network let's say, in a managed way, because, for example, you have a site like BMW in Germany. They have their own generation, but this generation is not fitting to their peak of consumption. Okay, so they have a microgrid, but they are also capable to take energy from the network. Number one, tied to the grid. Second is islandable. Islandable is, in fact, a grid that you can cut. Mainly, by the way, it's a grid which normally works out of the connection of the grid. It's a microgrid working out of the connection of the grid. And this islandable microgrid is then the second way of addressing this technical solution. The third one is off-grid, and this is more about access to energy. Again, just remember the three key levers and the three key drivers for those players, which are the prosumers. They want to have access to energy. They want to have reliable energy. They want to have green energy. Of course, they want energy efficiency, which is reduce their cost. This is the mindset of those new actors, and they are very, very new actors because they were not participating inside the grid before. So this is the second part. And if I want to go to one of the examples, which is Rids. Rids is it's an island which is very close to Singapore. We have done in partnership with ENGIE, very strong partnership we have with ENGIE, the solution of a completely islanded microgrid. This is, okay, we have energy saving. It's a complete green energy infrastructure. It's going to be, by the way, switch off at the end of this month. Sorry, switch on, not only switch on at the end of this month. And this is, well, completely enabling and leveraging our EcoStruxure Grid architecture that I'm going to present afterwards. So very good partnership. It just also, I mean, want to tell you about, just notice ENGIE, Schneider working together on this kind of energy, service to energy. That's also new business model, new opportunities that we have with, let's say, partners that also are changing their way of looking at things. I mean, frankly, I was with ENGIE yesterday and today. They are getting, ENGIE as a group is getting rid of their coal generation. They are selling coal generation. They are getting into service to energy, renewable energy, microgrid management. Okay, so just to tell you that this disruption that I'm talking about is happening now. It's really happening now. So if I want to go into the architecture by itself, you know our EcoStruxure. Well, I hope you notice we have 3 layers in the EcoStruxure. One layer is what we call the connected product. The second layer is the edge control, and the third layer is the analytics and app. Well, if I want to be more clear, connected product, what it is, it's a smart device that is connected at each and every point of the electrical network, okay? Smart device that is sending or receiving information. By the way, sometimes those smart devices are up to, like the Exergy T300, are up to connect together and reconfigure automatically the loop in case of a fault or default on the line. This is what we call the fleecer, which is a fast recovery at the level of the field, taking between 30 seconds to 1 minute, which is extremely fast when we consider this kind of complexity. And it's, of course, this, let's say, connected product is the base of the second part, which is the edge control. The edge control is more about SCADA system. It's on site. It's on the regional, let's say, dispatch center. And this is a way to just visualize the complete working condition of the network. Then the third point is about the application and the software. Here we are talking about ADMS. We are talking about GIS, which is the geospatial software. But we also talk about microgrid advisor. And we talk about the EcoStruxure Resource Advisor, which are also softwares that are more on the demand part of the equation. So when you look at this 3 layers architecture of EcoStruxure Grid, and then when you see what kind of offer we have a kind of right balance between the 2 sides of the equation, first side being the demand side, and the second side being the supply side. So again, it's something that is moving on, and of course, you see the 2, and again, I'm just advising you to go on the booth. If you didn't go and visit the booth, you have to please go and spend time on the new version of our ADMS or our Asset Advisor. Frankly speaking, those are new solutions that create a lot of opportunities on both sides, that change somewhere the way we look at energy. Energy was more a cost center in the P&L. Energy was more a kind of, well, you have a burden. You need energy to run your business or your factory or whatever, your infrastructure. Now, energy is becoming a real asset. Okay, and this asset, by the way, can be consolidated or deconsolidated. You can, by the way, change and refocus your business model on things which are less connected to the energy and give this business model to player, prosumer, that are more connected to this world of the energy. So the world is changing. The EcoStruxure Grid is bringing solution for the whole side of the equation. And we are ready, and we are ready. I mean, it's happening today on the field. Well, to conclude, what can we say? I mean, we are, of course, this is a complete disruption. This disruption is seen by us as big as the electricity itself, meaning that the digitization and the disruption of this new kind and new architecture and the digital approach at the level of the energy is absolutely key to understand that this massive, it's completely going to disrupt. I see, for example, a lot of conglomerates that I'm not going to name, but we know them. One start by G and finish by E, by the way. Second one start by A and finish by B, with a B in the middle, and so on and so forth. You have those competitors that are disrupted completely with this approach. I mean, the generation, turbine, high voltage, transmission, I mean, everything which is related to this, let's say, linear way of looking at the grid and at the architecture is completely dismantled and is completely deleted. So, well, our position is great, frankly. We have the tool. It's happening now. We have a new kind of actor that we absolutely need to address, which are the prosumer. They have high level of demand. Their level of expectation is extremely high. They want availability. They want reliability. They want green. They want less cost. And at the end of the day, sometimes they don't want even to manage this part. So it's becoming a real asset. You can sell, I mean, or you can get it into your business model, this energy into the equation. But frankly speaking, that's my last slide and my last message. We are inside a massive transformation. Schneider, with the EcoStruxure Grid, is bringing solution on both sides of the meter. We have actually a lot of successes across the planet, from the supply side and also from the demand side. Just one thing to finish this presentation is the fact that, well, we have a booth outside. Please spend time on this one. Spend time also on the connection between EcoStruxure Power and, let's say, the connected product that I show you. I mean, because we have a lot of connecting points between the low voltage, let's say, technology of Schneider and the medium voltage technology of Schneider inside the building segment. You will see in EcoStruxure Power a lot of interconnect between those different offers. Again, those offers are connected, bring SCADA, bring apps. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.